Ah, eu quero ver esse vídeo da trufa. Ela se aproveitando o embalo. Partiu The Magician. Vamos ver esse videozinho aqui antes, pô. Tô fazendo nada. Não tô fazendo nada. Eu não tô fazendo nada. Ó. Vocês gostam de trufa ou não? Vou confessar pra vocês que eu sou legal, mas não sou, assim, se apaixonado todo, não. Acho que os caras exageram demais. Virou meio brega, inclusive. Mas é bonito, ó.
Luxury cousins of the mushroom, truffles are an indulgent food enjoyed across the world. But these fragrant fungi will cost you. In 2014, the world's largest white truffle was flown to New York, accompanied by a security guard, and sold at auction for $61,000.
Pô, irmão. $61 mil. Isso é brincadeira, né? Espero que isso aí fosse parece uma pedra preciosa, né? Quero saber o peso. Dá pra trazer o peso?
Discovered in Italy.
Caralho, olha o tamanho do bagulho. Quase 2 quilos.
Gigantic fungus weighed almost 2 kilos. So what is it that makes them so expensive?
Já comi trufa, já.
There are a lot of types of truffle. There are at least 40 species, many of which aren't edible, and new species have been discovered as recently as 2018.
Essa parada sempre me pegou, já falei sobre isso. Sempre me pegou essa parada dos cogumelos, barra trufas, barra esses negócios que estão na... Irmão, como é que tu descobre se tu pode comer essa porra ou não? Já vi outras pessoas falando sobre isso, mas como é que você descobre se você pode ou não pode comer um cogumelo que tá na natureza? Ou um babaca comeu e morreu? As pessoas botam... Quem é a cobaia? Porra, bicho. Não, acho assim, laboratório. Irmão, você tá no meio da pista, você tá na selva. Não tem laboratório, não tem microscópio lá, irmão. Tem que experimentar, pô. E o Gabriel traz a frase correta. Todos são comestíveis, alguns apenas uma vez. Gênio. Gênio, pô. É isso.
Probably seen luxury truffle products in supermarkets or fancy restaurants. But the unique truffle flavor you recognize might not be real truffle at all. Cheap truffle oil often hasn't been anywhere near a real truffle.
Então, é isso que eu falo. Acho que hoje em dia, esses azeites trufados aí que todo mundo usa o tempo inteiro e acaba sendo brega e ruim. Sabor ruim.
Many cheaper truffle products use 2,4-dithiapentane, a synthesized compound containing one of the main aromatic components of foot odor.
Caralho, mete chulé lá.
To give it that earthy taste. Real truffles are seasonal and pricey, with a short shelf life. They were originally sniffed out using truffle pigs, but while pigs are very good at finding truffles, they're also very good at eating them too.
Caralho, muito pico. Olha só, cara. Os caras, olha que parada assim. Os caras botavam uma focinheira no porco pra ele não abrir a boca e comer a trufa, porque ele farejava a trufa, mas queria comer, pô.
And these days, dogs are much more common truffle hunting companions.
Olha aí o Jack.
These fungi can be found across the world, but they all require a very specific climate to grow.
Você vai lá no norte da Itália, você faz a caça das trufas.
While different varieties may have somewhat different requirements, one thing is certain. You can't have truffles without trees.
Truffles are always found with trees, and they have to be the right type of trees.
Mal diagramado, né, irmão?
The ground, the truffle is just the fruiting body, so in accordance with an apple. And we've also got a lot of then what we call the mycelium, microscopic level threads, up to 100 meters in a teaspoon of soil. And this mycelium is actually attached to the roots of a tree, like the fingers on a glove onto a hand. And it sort of extends the reach of the tree out, and it actually takes up water and nutrients and passes them through the tree, and the tree gives it sugars in return, so to help the truffles, the fruit, develop.
Caralho, essa parada eu não sabia não, que ficava tipo na raiz da árvore, uma parada assim, foi meio isso que ele falou, né?
Even when you have exactly the right conditions, truffles aren't guaranteed. and hunting them is a labour-intensive process. Once you know where to look, you have to sniff out and dig up each truffle by hand, and they can be tricky to find.
Good boy, thank you, good boy, come. So he's told us it's there, it's still in the ground, so do I want to take it out of the ground or not? It all depends on if it's ripe. If it's unripe, there's no point in having it. So the nose comes into play. And
Que isso? O cara tem que...
ground for it.
Imagina se tiver um cocô de animal ali.
It may take a while, but finding a good one can make it worth the work.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah, that's probably about 70, 80 grams.
Caralho, eu tenho noção, não ia falar, não, 200 gramas, o bagulho tem 80 gramas. Vale 90
also
dólares.
have a short season, often appearing for only a few months of the year. And even when you do get your hands on them, they don't last for long.
An unripe truffle, unlike a tomato, which you could cut from the vine and ripen on your windowsill, once a truffle is out of the ground, the clock is ticking, it's just sort of slowly going to degrade over time. So we want to get that to customers nice and fast.
After just 5 days out of the ground, that pungent truffle smell will have halved. You can farm many truffle varieties, besides the rare Italian whites. And many people have been successful in setting up truffle orchards, but it's not easy. Trees need to be planted
Olha lá. Vai de The Last of Us aí.
in the right soil conditions, inoculated with truffle fungus, and often irrigated constantly. It can take as long as 6 years before you get a good truffle harvest.
6 anos, foi isso que ele falou?
Constantly. It can take as long as 6 years before you get a good truffle harvest, and there's no guarantee that the fungi will grow at all. So after all that effort, what do they actually taste
Ah, o
like?
nervosinho veio isso aí, né?
Oh.
The smell just made me think it was going to be really strong. The flavour's actually quite subtle. There's a nuttiness there. There's like an earthy flavour there.
Actually quite light and fragrant. It tastes a lot nicer than it smells. It smells like damp socks.
That's good.
A mulher esculachou, mané. Chamou de meia molhada.
I mean, this is the first time I actually eat a truffle by itself. You know, it's a bit like mushroom, but it's more of a meaty bite.
These days, farming has taken over as our primary source of truffles, and today 70% of the world's truffles are cultivated. Through the loss of woodland and climate change, the number of wild truffles has decreased significantly. Since the 19th century, production in France has fallen from over 1,000 tons a season to just 30 tons. And climate
Caralho,
change
1000
could
toneladas pra 30.
mean that truffles will disappear altogether in the future.
The weather conditions are so important, not just immediately over the whole season. We're getting much lower numbers and much lower average size. A truffle is like 70% water, so it needs rainfall to help it grow. Some UK truffle scientists are thinking that your traditional areas, the climate is going to move further north, and they're not going to have a truffle industry within, I think, perhaps 50 years. There's threats, there's opportunities, but rain, we do need rain. When we get a dry summer,
We do need rain.
holiday makes that delighted, but I keep crossing my fingers for a bit of rain every now and again.
Aí, ó. Okzinho, né? Não dizer que empolgou. Empolgar. Não empolgou, não. Mas por fim é ok, bacana. Isso é um cocô seco que dá dinheiro. O Yuri Couto resumiu bem, né? Depois dessa a gente ignora a trufa, né? Um cocô seco que dá dinheiro. Mas é conhecimento, mais conhecimento que a gente trouxe pra live.